If you've ever been told that you have to step forward, step in, or step across to have an effective volley, it's completely false. I'm going to show you some examples of the pros and of Ian that are different ways of hitting volleys that are actually not stepping across and stepping forward every single time. First, we're going to look at Tommy Haas. Now, I picked this example because it's 3 different types in a row of him hitting. So the first volley that you're going to see is a volley that's kind of jamming him, and he's actually almost stepping back a little bit, or almost not stepping hardly at all after his split step to hit that volley. And then the very next ball, he has plenty of time. So this one, he's actually stepping in and forward and across, like you hear from most people. And then the very next ball, he's actually going to step his left foot to the left instead of stepping across or forward to be able to hit that ball. You're going to see many different varieties of the footwork that's used to hit a forehand volley. Most of the time you always see the load on the outside leg, and then if they have plenty of time, you're going to see them step forward, and if it's a neutral ball, they're going to have all the time in the world to be able to do that. But when you're pressured and in a match play, or you're having the ball hit right at you, there's a lot of different varieties that come up, and you need to be able to know how to use those. And if you have the mindset that you're only able to step forward and across and make sure that that step is at a 45-degree angle and that your body's turned in this position and all of these different things, then you're going to struggle when the ball's actually right at you, or when you're pressured and you have to move sideways or backwards or take a step behind, or anything other than stepping forward and across. So it's important to be able to practice those as well. And I'm going to give you a lot of examples here that show you different ways that we can do that. Next up, we have Djokovic, and he had hit a backhand ground stroke and he was transitioning forward, and here is his first volley. He actually, after the split step, steps with the outside foot because he's reaching to get this backhand volley. So you're going to see sometimes that it's not always stepping across, and sometimes actually it's stepping out with the outside foot to be able to hit the volley off of it instead. Here's an example of Sock, and he actually, the ball is coming, I'm going to back this up for a second, the ball is coming at a good distance away from him. He might have felt like he could have had time to split step and step in, but instead he actually keeps both feet pretty planted after the split step and keeps his weight on the outside foot and then volleys from that open stance. The very next volley, you're going to see him take a step with his right foot to be able to hit a backhand volley that's kind of jamming him and coming at him a little bit more and a little lower. Here's another example of Jack getting very jammed as the backhand comes in, and he's just surviving. He's not taking any stance. He's hitting that step, that open stance backhand volley. Now let's look at Andy Murray. So after his split step, he's actually taking a side step to be able to hit this forehand volley. There was no step across with the left foot or a step forward for that matter. It was just a simple step to the side to be able to put his body behind and his racket behind the ball where he needed to be. Last one here until we look at some other examples from Ian where I can really break it down for you. We have Fed here, and he is actually taking an outside step with his right foot towards the ball to hit a low volley that's coming at him. So you're going to see all different varieties when hitting a volley. And it's all about understanding that it always doesn't have to be the same thing, and that it's not going to always be where you step forward or across your body every single volley that you get, because you just don't flat have the time, and you're not going to be able to feel that ability to be able to step forward and transition through the volley every single time. So I asked Ian and Kevin to rally some balls, and I took some footage of Ian hitting some volleys, and he did hit all the 3 different styles that we have been talking about. The first one that he hit was really where the ball's coming at him a little bit lower, just like the pros were doing in the examples we saw, and he really didn't move his feet very much from that position. He just got his body behind the ball in a very strong position by bending and getting low, and then hitting the ball. His feet after the split step, and then there wasn't any movement. There's no steps in any direction there. Another example here with Ian is where he's getting the backhand volley and he steps a little bit forward but more in a neutral stance. He's not stepping across. So there's so much variation between stepping up to a neutral stance, stepping open stance, stepping semi-open stance, and then stepping in a closed stance across your body. So the whole point is that you want to make sure that you understand there's not one way that you need to be doing this. There is a variety of different ways. Understanding how to cross behind when the ball comes to you is very important, and just as important as being able to step across and transition forward. So when you're out there practicing, make sure that you're not stuck in that one-dimensional mindset that it has to be one way or nothing. It's going to have some variety. Work with the variety and learn to use it so you can really excel in your volley game in your match play.